fantasy loving besties, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my extensive TBR, but specifically my extensive physical TBR, because if you watched my video from last week, once more, when are you guys going to watch my bookshelf tour, please? You will have noticed that I have rearranged everything. This made me realize that there are a lot of books on here that I have not read, and honestly, my head is in like a fog because I don't think I have sat down to read a full book. The last book that I read was Releasing 10. It has been far too long, meaning I have not read a fantasy book, a full fantasy book, since before I started the Boys of Tommen series, like 3 months ago. I'm a fantasy girl, and that's just not okay in my book. The problem is that there are so many books that kind of keep accumulating, and what happens to me in my brain is that if I have too many books on the TBR, I get anxious. And if I get anxious, I don't know which one to pick. And if I don't know which one to pick, I start like 5, I finish 0. And that's more or less what has happened. So I'm thinking maybe I'll tackle my physical TBR first before I continue adding to it. However, I would like to preface this with the fact that I did go to a book fair yesterday and I bought 2 more books to add to the physical TBR. I'm not the best at not buying books. Since I got my Kindle, I've limited how many books I buy unless it's like a deluxe special edition that I need to snag immediately. Before that, I did buy a lot of physical books, and I did buy a lot of hardcover physical books to make it even better for my wallet. That being said, these are the books on my physical TBR. I'm gonna tell you more or less how long ago I got these books. Stole this idea from my bestie girl, Brooke. If you don't follow her, I'm gonna give you a few seconds. So I'm assuming you're subscribed to her now because she's fucking phenomenal. Yeah? Great. Let's start with the ones on my lap, the ones that I just bought yesterday. So I did state multiple times that I was waiting to get the A Forbidden Alchemy special edition. I did state multiple times that I was waiting to get the Forbidden Alchemy special edition, and yeah, indeed I did buy that because I'm really enjoying the book so far. Look at these. Can we just have a moment? This book is so freaking good. So this is probably number 1 on my physical TBR because that's the book that I've currently been on for over a month. And it sucks because I'm enjoying the book so damn much, but I read it before bed, I read 10 pages and I'm like, I'm out. I can't because I'm exhausted all the time. But the book is so good. Oh, and I was reading it last night. I'm 50% in the book and I was reading it last night, and the way that it ended, I want to fucking scream. I don't think you understand what this book did to me when I read it last night. Where I ended up was a moment that I don't think anybody would have been able to put the book down. I have a lot of self-control. I say with the books that I had no self-control over buying, but that's besides the point. It is in such a good spot. So that is my like number 1 priority. This has been on my physical TBR for a total of 1 day. Next, we have the book that everybody is talking about, the fanfiction to traditionally published phenomenon in the book community and in my community, the Draco Malfoy community. I have Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. I was not gonna buy this book at all. Not on my radar at all. However, I saw it there and it just, I don't know, something about it. I was just like, I feel like breaking my book buying ban today. And I did that. I believe it was like the Raven Bookshop. I'll link it below. When I bought it, she was like, yeah, like I saw you eyeing it for a bit. That's because I walked by the fucking stand 5 times, literally in circles, 5 times, picked it up once. I was like, took a video of it, put it down. Came back and I was like, until I was finally like, yeah, how much is this? Can I take her home with me, please? And I took her home with me. A moment for the edges, as for always, and a moment for this fucking cover. Do you see this character art? I am not a character art girly. I don't like my covers with people. I will say, I've noticed that I keep saying that, but a lot of my covers have accumulated with people's, starting with my amazing Throne of Glass first edition. So I think my mind is slowly being swayed because I also love my Kingfisher baby face that I have up there. Just give me something artsy, give me something moody, give me something that I like, and I'm gonna like the people covers, including this one. This fucking cover is so goddamn beautiful. Let me tell you about the book. So this is A Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. I know nothing about the book except for the fact that it's a Draco and Hermione fanfiction turned traditionally published. So we're about to find out what this book is about together. As a team, we have the war is over, the dark forces have won, and the hero who was supposed to save them is dead. Excuse me? That's a strong start. Okay. The prophecy lied. They were supposed to win this war. Instead, Brienne Brienne? Hermione! Hermione Rosewood watches, shattered and grief-stricken, as her brother is killed, her kingdom fallen, and her home is overrun by their enemies. Now Evermore is no more, and Hermione, Brienne, I'm sorry, is sold at an auction. Stop it! Wait, this is the most... Wait, sold at an auction gives me immediate Wattpad AO3 vibes. That is the epitome of One Direction and boy band fan fictions. Like, you get sold off and your mom doesn't give a shit, right? So this is giving a binge read, Miss Ma'am. It's sold at an auction, prized only for her remarkable magic, but defeat isn't nearly as agonizing as being sold to Tuven. Scion? Oh, I'm not smart. Of the powerful and devious Harst family, because Brienne knows Tuven, Draco. Oh, sorry. That man. All too well from his merciless taunting all through school, all through Hogwarts. This woman did her work to separate Harry Potter fanfiction from her book, but this is Draco Malfoy right here, and I'm the problem. Now he's grown into a man Brienne cannot ignore. Silver-haired and impossibly unfairly beautiful. Oh, Draco Malfoy. And while Tuven is most definitely her enemy, he's something else too. Something unexpected. Somebody hire me for Love Island. I'm sorry. But in a world where magic can instantly crush a human heart and even thoughts can be stolen, there can be no such thing as love. Not for Brienne. A secret rebellion is brewing and she needs to find a way to escape her cage and join it. Yet despite the horrors of her new world and the role she must learn to play within it, all is not lost. Help and hope may yet arise in the most unlikely of places. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what it's about even after reading the synopsis. But I don't care. Everyone says that this story is phenomenal, so I simply had to buy it, meaning it is now on my TBR. But that is not all, because you see, when I got home, I texted my friend, Brianna. You must also know her, and subscribe to her. 3, 2, 1, okay. I told her, hey, should I buy the new Julie Soto book? And she's like, of course. I actually just bought the other Draco and Hermione fanfiction that everybody's talking about. I was like, that's crazy, because I was looking at that when I was buying this one, because they were like in the same row, and I was like, should I buy it, yes or no? But it didn't have any special edges, so I just didn't call my name. But she said, yeah, I just bought it. And I was like, no worries, mommy, here we go. Outside of the book fair, got in my car, immediately ordered The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. I don't know why I ordered that. Beats me. She mentioned it to me and I was like, no, don't worry. I can't believe I left it at the store. I'll just order it. And that's exactly what I did, and it gets here today. So I can't show it to you for this physical TBR video. Just know that it is going to be added to the physical TBR. And at this point, with Manifold coming out in November, I believe, I might as well just have a Draco shelf aside my Harry Potter shelf, because it seems to me that I have a problem. I have not read a single, not one, 0 Draco Malfoy published fanfictions. I have read 0 unpublished Hermione fanfictions. I always just read Draco Malfoy fanfictions and YN, me, and your name me. I see that Hermione's a big deal, and instead of dipping my toes in, I decided, no, I'm actually gonna buy every single version that has been published of these fanfictions, because I know I'm gonna love them. So I have no clue what that book is about. The only thing she told me is that it's like a rom-com-y fantasy book. I'm not a fan of rom-coms, period. So this one on the outside says, the best love stories begin with hate at first sight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The cover is also absolutely gorgeous with like the blacks and the pinks. I don't know, it itches my brain. Oh, I can't pronounce these names. When Osric Mordaunt, member of the Fearin Order of Assassins, falls ill, he realizes he needs the expertise of a very specific healer, Hermione. As fate would have it, the healer belongs to an enemy faction, the Halen Order. Aurine, Hermione, I'm gonna have to listen to the audiobook for these, and her fellow Halen are inundated by sick children suffering from an outbreak of a long-forgotten pox. Unable to get the funding needed to launch an immunization program, the Halen Order is desperate for money. So desperate that when Osric, Draco, breaks into their headquarters to bribe Aurine to heal him, she is forced to accept. As Osric and Aurine work together to solve not only his illness but the mysterious reoccurrence of the pox, they find themselves denying their attraction, which only fuels the tension between them. Interesting. Honestly, it's not crazy calling my attention from the synopsis, but I'm not gonna knock it till I try it. But it does seem very Harry Potter-esque. That's the other book that's getting added to my brand new physical TBR, and both of those Draco and Hermione fanfiction have been on my physical TBR for less than 24 hours. Now let's get to the ones that I have on my shelf. First things first, we have Throne of the Fallen, which I don't know that much about. I know that it's based off of like the 7 Deadly Sins. It's a spicy love story. I also have Throne of the Secrets, which is the second book in this special Barnes edition, pre-ordered, so that's also gonna get added right beside this bad boy, even though I have not read the first one. It's by Carrie Maniscalco, Throne of the Fallen, and it says, the Prince of Envy has never claimed to be a saint, but when a cryptic note arrives signaling the beginning of a deadly game, he knows it will take more than a hint of sin to win and save his falling demon court. One of his meticulous plans prepare him for her, the frustrating artist who ignites his sin like no other. To avoid a ruinous scandal, Camilla must enter a devil's bargain with Envy, unaware his game will awaken her true nature. Together, Envy and Camilla embark on a perilous journey through the underworld, from glittering demon courts to the sultry vampire realm, while trying to avoid the most dangerous trap of all, falling in love. I picked this up from a used bookstore. Don't think I'm going to be getting to this one anytime soon, but I'm pretty sure I've had this on my shelf since January, so about 7 months at this point, which is so sad. I don't think I've read a single book on my physical TBR since I got my Kindle. Next we have One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, which I also got from the same used bookstore. What do I know about her? Nothing. All I know is that everyone that I know is like ride or die for this duology. So we're about to find out what it's about. Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare. Trapped in her head, he protects her, he keeps her secret, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadows and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure Blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blunder, and guilty of high treason. A maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy debut. One Dark Window, I've had it on my shelf since it got gifted to me December, which is another like 8 months. And Two Twisted Crowns, I got it probably about 6 months ago, since I just wanted to complete the duology set without reading them. It's a little embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie to you. Then we have Hooked, which I know is a Captain Hook dark retelling. I'm pretty sure it's a dark romance. I'm excited to read this one. Don't think I'm gonna read it anytime soon either. I wanna say 10 months ago, says James has always had one agenda: destroy his enemy, Peter Michaels. Peter Michaels. I didn't realize that the names were based off of the actual characters, but like in the real world, I guess. When Peter's 20-year-old daughter, Wendy, oh, that's fucking odd. Okay, but when Peter's 20-year-old daughter, Wendy, shows up in James' bar, he sees his way in, seduce the girl, and use her for his revenge. It's the perfect plan until things in James's organization begin to crumble. Suddenly, he has to find the traitor in the midst, and his plan for revenge gets murkier as James starts to see Wendy as more than just a pawn in his game. Spontaneous night out with friends turns into an intense and addictive love affair with the dark and brooding James. As much as she knows James is dangerous, Wendy can't seem to shake her desire for him. But as their relationship grows more heated and she learns more about the world he moves in, she finds herself unsure if she's falling for the man known as James or the monster known as Hook. Period! Only thing I know that's gonna happen with this book is that the only man I'm going to be thinking of reading this is going to be Killian Hook from Once Upon a Time, and that's what I'm gonna be picturing. Goodness gracious, there are so many more. Next, we have Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I got this book about 2 months ago. I have not finished it. I'm about 60% into the book, I think. Unsure how I feel about it, but it has not been sitting on my shelf for that long, so I have actually jumped into this one. It's interesting. It's supposed to be like a dystopian novel that kind of reminds me a lot of Divergent with spice, so an adult dystopian novel, which I'm not opposed to. I just don't know how I feel so far about like the relationship building and kind of where that's going. I can't opinionate until I'm done with the book, but this one's on my physical TBR, almost done with her. My name is Ren Darlington. I've been hiding who I am my entire life. Today will be no different. Then we have When the Moon Hatched, which has been in my hands for, I will say, about 1.5 years. Everybody loves this book. I've never read this book. It's really pretty though, that's why I got it, because the inside's freaking gorgeous. As an assassin for the rebellion group, Fjord Duoth, I cannot fucking pronounce any of these fucking names. Fjord Duoth Rave's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When a rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down, blood spills, hearts break, and Rave finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful fae who turn her into a political statement. Crushed by the loss of his great love, Khan Vager took the head of the king and donned his melted crown. Now on a tireless quest to quell the never-ebbing ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's high-security prison where he stumbled upon the imprisoned Rave. Echoes of the past race between them. There's more to their story than meets the eye, but some truths are too poisonous to swallow. I'm acting like I didn't buy this book because I thought I would like it. I'm intrigued. Who would have thunk? Thank God that the books on my TBR are at least something that I would read. We have Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I bought it for the edges, you know I did. This is the other one that I bought besides Silver Elite because it was like the BookTok sensation and I was gonna read all 3, but I didn't. Not sure what it is. I'm actually not willing to read the synopsis of it because people say it's amazing to go in blind to this book. All of my friends who have read it have given it 5 stars. Phenomenal. I'm pretty sure she is a romance author and this is her first fantasy book, but I could be lying to you. Being the Sparrow isn't an honor, it's a trap. That's the most I'm gonna give you on it, but everybody says it's super, super good, and I don't think I'm gonna read it anytime soon. Then we have, which I will not be grabbing, the entire Zodiac Academy series that I bought in one go, which was probably the craziest thing that I've ever done because it is over 11 books and a lot of money. The problem is that the books were going out of print and I like the original covers better, so I said, hey, you wanna know what a really good idea is? Buy them all right now in one go. I've had those for about less than a month. I'd say like 3 weeks-ish. I do want to get to those relatively soon though because I know I'm gonna love them. It's like a dark academia with monsters and hot people and 2 sisters. The love interests are very mean and we know I like a mean man and I don't want to know anything about the series. I really don't because everybody tells me I'm gonna love it as much as I love ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. Do expect some reading vlogs on that sooner rather than later because I feel like it's gonna be a great read for like spooky season. The other ones that I will not be grabbing, Harry Potter. You don't want to know how long those have been on my TBR, let me tell you. Those books have been on my physical TBR for a good 3-4 years at this point. I put it upon myself that I was gonna start reading. That was before I started my reading journey. I read the first 3, which is great. To be fair, I did start school. And then they're still up there collecting dust. I do want to go back to read them from the beginning all over again. I'm pretty sure I've read the first book like 3 times at this point because I've restarted the series so many times to try and like fully read it. But now that I am a reader and this is my entire personality, maybe now I can commit to reading the entire Harry Potter series. But it is kind of sad. We have The Cruel Prince and Red Queen. These were the second books that I bought after ACOTAR. I bought ACOTAR and I bought these 2. I read ACOTAR 3 years ago. So these have been on my shelf for 2 years. And I keep telling myself, I'm gonna get to it, and then I never do. Specifically, Red Queen, I don't have like as much of a rush to get into, but I do want to get it, especially because they say there's a lot of similarities between Red Queen and Powerless, and I really like Powerless, so I want to see that for myself and compare the 2, because I think that'll be very interesting, and I know that this is like an OG book, so I'm excited to read this one in a few more years, probably. And Cruel Prince is the one that gives me the most ache, because this was the book that I was most excited to read after ACOTAR. And it has been on my shelf staring at me because it intimidates me. I know I'm gonna love it and that scares me. Like if I know I'm gonna fall in love with a book, I'm not gonna wanna read it. I know that I'm going to absolutely love Carden and Jude and I am gonna eat up the story, so I'm gonna keep putting this off. But this is one of the ones that I do wanna read sooner rather than later, but I'm gonna be honest, I've been saying that I'm gonna read The Cruel Prince for so long that at this point, I don't even believe myself. Then we have Caraval. As my Once Upon a Broken Heart girlies know, is one that I definitely have to read in order to just meet Jax. Even though aside from the Jax thing, I do think I'm going to absolutely love this story. I like the idea of the carnival and creepy and games, and it just gives me like my type of aesthetic. I currently have all the special editions ordered from Fairy Loot, so I'll probably read it when those get here next year. I don't want to wait that long because I really do want to read Stephanie Garber's books. I've had this book since about November, if I'm not mistaken. What else do we got up here, girl? Light Lark. Got Light Lark, which was also gifted to me. Don't know anything about it except everyone's talking about it. Everybody hated the 3rd book. It's coming out with the Grimm and Oro editions, which are freaking beautiful and I kind of want to buy them, but I don't even have the series. I don't even know if I'm going to like the series. I've had this since January of this year. Not that bad. I thought I had it for longer. This is not a priority read for me right now, even though I will say I have a hold on it for Libby and I keep pushing it back 3 months at a time, and then I'll randomly get it. I'll be like, oh look, Light Lark, and then I'll just push it back again. So it was a priority read for me before the last book came out, but it's a little far gone and it keeps accumulating, so I'm just gonna put that over there for now. I also have Sunrise on the Reaping at the release party, literally 12 a.m. got the book, started the book. The rest is history. I never finished it. I read like maybe 3 or 4 chapters. Nothing wrong with Sunrise on the Reaping at all, because I absolutely adore the Hunger Games books. I just don't think I was like in the right headspace for it, so we'll see whenever I get to Sunrise on the Reaping, because I actually also have Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes that I never read. I did watch the movie though. I might probably just do like a whole Hunger Games world reread, and then I'll get to Ballad and Sunrise. I'll reread it for the movie. I think that's good timing. So I'll see you guys next November. This book called Anastasia, which I picked because I saw it on TikTok and it had pictures inside. I picked it because it had drawings inside, because I'm a toddler apparently. It has like these full like pages of drawings. I saw somebody like scrubbing through them. Really though, it's not just because of the drawings, it's just because somebody like showed the drawings and I was like, oh, perfect for me. Anastasia is probably my favorite. I don't know if she'd be a princess. She's not like a Disney princess. I think she just got picked up by Disney not that long ago when like they merged, but she's not a Disney princess. But it was my favorite movie growing up. I've rewatched Anastasia so many fucking times. That movie is my Roman Empire. Her and Dimitri. Dimitri is the reason. He is the reason that I fell in love with Enemies to Lovers, since I was way too young to know what that meant. I fucking love that story so much, but it was far too short. Since I got into reading, I'm like, well, I got my animated film, but I need a more in-depth analysis on what was going on with my girl Anastasia and Dimitri. Damien. Who the fuck is Damien? Okay, so this doesn't seem to follow the Anastasia movies, and we have Damien, not Dimitri. I'm gonna call him Dimitri because I'm in love with Dimitri. I don't think I'm gonna read this book genuinely anytime soon. I had this book physically for probably about 4 or 5 months, which isn't that bad because there was like a sale, so I added it to make the sale. I think I'm gonna probably read this book like as like an in-between like palate cleanser whenever I feel like it, which I don't feel like it yet. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I know that I like Anastasia, so it felt like a must buy, I guess. Butcher and Blackbird, which my best friend gifted to me because she did not like it. This is a dark rom-com, which everybody absolutely adores. It's in the same publishing company as Lights Out, which is my favorite dark rom-com. I started audiobooking this book. I never finished the book. I just couldn't get into it, but I also don't think I was like in the headspace for it when I started it, because I had just finished Lights Out, and like I don't like the same type of books back to back, because then I'll start comparing and I'll be like, oh, it's not hitting, and then I use my dark romance books as my audiobook cleansers. So I actually just read God of Malice to like cleanse my audio, to cleanse my ears and dirty them a little bit, because dark romance is not very clean. They're murderers, both of them. They're besties who kill. I don't think they're besties. They have like a weird like game that they're doing to see who can kill first, kill more. That's kind of where I ended up in. And his name is Rowan. That's what I do know, because it's really hard for me to get into it when I'm in love with Rowan Whitethorn, and this is another Rowan. I'm definitely gonna give this a chance sometime this year so I can audiobook it, and I also have it on Libby. They keep kind of trying to give it to me. There are more books on my physical TBR, but these are not fair. I got Silver Elite on Book of the Month. I forgot to skip my next month, so I had a credit that I had to use, so really I needed to buy the books for the book box, right? So I got these 3 to fulfill my Book of the Month order. I just picked the books that I knew because they were also the only fantasy ones that they were offering. But I got A Fate Inked in Blood, which is a book that I saw when I started my book journey on the shelves, and I wanted to get it really, really bad, and I never did. But since they were offering it, it was a duology. So I was like, okay, they're offering both of them, which means if I just get both of them with my credit, then I have a full set here, and that seems reasonable in my brain. So no clue what they're about, but it says, her fate is inked in her blood. It's carved in her bones. This power is Freya's destiny. And I got Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. All I know is I've seen this cover everywhere, and it was the book of the month for June. So I had to get it. I've never read a V.E. Schwab book, but everyone loves V.E. Schwab, so I got V.E. Schwab. I remember what this book is about, so actually I might actually get to it, actually. I think the premise is really cool. I didn't know what it was about until I got to my house and I read the synopsis and I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of dope. It's essentially 3 different storylines in like different eras, different years. This is a story about hunger. 1532, Santo Domingo de la Calzada. This is a story about love. 1827, London. And this is a story about rage, 2019, Boston. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. So actually this book did intrigue me. So it was kind of like a happy accident that I was like, hey, I've seen this cover. I need to use my money, and then I get it, I'm like, wait, I'd actually read this. I should probably do a video trying to complete my physical TBR, because I think that's a good way for me to feel like I didn't waste my time and my money. Would you like to watch that? What do we think? Yeah? You want to force me to read my books? If you insist, you let me know and I'll make a video about it. And finally, which I'm not gonna grab from up there, the one that we all know that I have to read. Crescent City books 1, 2, and 3. Crescent City, baby girl! Those have been on my physical TBR for about 2 years. I bought them with Throne of Glass and with ACOTAR, and I've had them there for quite some time. I'm going to get to them sooner rather than later because, yeah, ACOTAR 6 is in the works, and your girl's not gonna get left out of the next ACOTAR announcement. Those are there, and I'm not gonna grab them because they scare me. Those books, they're the ones that I've been putting off the fucking most, but I think that I've run my time. Just know you're gonna get a Crescent City vlog fairly soon. I have a few books that I have to get through first, and then we're gonna get through Crescent City and maybe tackle some of my physical TBR. But for now, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I felt a lot worse looking at my books, but I think I have more books on my regular TBR than on my physical TBR. We could do like a Goodreads TBR go through, so you can see every book that's on my brain that's making me think that I have too many books on my physical TBR, but I'm also saying that as if I don't have the whole Zodiac Academy collection right there that I have not read, because why did I buy it in one go? That could have been a lot worse for me, but it wasn't, so that's great. I don't feel that bad anymore. Do tell me if any of these books are on your standing TBR, if any of these books are your must-reads. Nat, what are you doing? Why has this been shelved for 2 years? Do not mention Group Prince to me. I'm talking to you. I'm gonna get to it. If any of these books are your absolute faves, or there are any books that have been sitting on your physical TBR for a little bit too long, drop them in the comments. I would love to know, because as you know, I love to add books to my physical TBR, so God knows if I end up purchasing any of those to add to my ever-growing to be read on my shelves. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy videos like this, please subscribe. If you don't like videos like this, just know that my favorite trope is enemies to lovers, so you're gonna stay. If you want some exclusive content or you want to chat with me personally, please remember that you could always join some of my member channels through the join button on this video. And if not, just like, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching me spiral about the books that I own once again. Bye.